Averasboro, North Carolina, March 15th, 1865. General Sherman's troops had made a victorious march to the sea. Now his Union soldiers were headed back north through the middle of the Cape Fear region. Confederates had already evacuated Fayetteville and fallen back to the plantation lands of the John Smith family, just 4 miles south of the Cape Fear River town of Averasboro. 8,000 Confederate troops set up defenses and engaged 30,000 Union troops. The battle line moved back and forth over the bloody field. Despite being sorely outnumbered, the Confederates would not yield and held off the Union soldiers for 2 days. Finally, during the second night, Confederate troops conducted a planned withdrawal to Bentonville in what would become North Carolina's largest battle of the Civil War. Today, the cannons are still. The battle-scarred plantation lands are quiet. But the memory remains of those people, military and civilian, who suffered and died during the Battle of Averasboro.
The Averasboro battlefield is located on North Carolina Highway 82, which is between Godwin and Dunn and Irwin, about midway. And it is in between two rivers, the Black River and the Cape Fear River. And that is why General Hardee, who was the commander of the Southern troops here, chose this place to make a stand against General Sherman and the Union troops, was because it was between two rivers, and that way his body of Confederate troops could not get flanked on the side because they would run into the river before they could get around them. When General Sherman left Fayetteville, he divided his army of 60,000 troops into two different armies of 30,000 troops and marched them parallel to each other. The eastern branch was going directly towards Goldsboro, but General Sherman himself, along with his undergenerals, came straight up that plank road, and he had 30,000 troops against General Hardee's approximately 8,000 troops. And General Hardee's command from General Johnston, who was the commander of the Confederate troops in the area, was not to win a battle, it was to delay General Sherman. So he never thought he could take 8,000 and defeat 30,000, but he did think he could take 8,000 and slow them down so that General Johnston, who was up in the Bentonville area, could get a sizable number of troops to do battle with them when they got up there. The dates of the battle were March 15 and 16, 1865. The second day of the battle, March 16th, General Hardee, after they had had 3 lines of battle, first, second, and third line, instructed his soldiers to light campfires as if they were going to get up and fight a third day, but during the night they pulled out and went on up to Bentonville. And the Union troops awakened the third day only to find out that the Confederate troops had abandoned their campfires and left them burning so as to deceive them in thinking they were still here. Through the use of the artifacts that are in this room and through our all-volunteer interpretive guides, we've been able to tell people about the Battle of Averasboro and what it means to people today, and how it was the prelude to the Battle of Bentonville. The cemetery is a place where any visitor would want to visit, I think. There are 56 soldiers buried there. Only 2 of those soldiers are known. 54 of them were buried in mass graves, and they didn't wear dog tags back in those days, so people buried them not knowing who they were. When people visit our museum, the room we're sitting in now is what we get most acclaim for because we've got many artifacts. People have been very generous to us in either outright donating the artifacts or putting them on permanent loan, so to speak, here to us. We've got all kinds of bullets, are cannonballs that were used in this battle, actually found on the battlefield. We've got many examples of rifles that were used here. Our most famous exhibit is Colonel Thomas Purdy's uniform, which is behind me here. Colonel Purdy's claim to fame is that he was the person in charge of the troops that fired on General Stonewall Jackson at the Battle of Chancellorsville, ultimately resulting in Stonewall Jackson's death. On a typical year, not counting events, we have about 1,000 visitors a month. So in a year, we would have approximately 12,000. When we're able to put on a reenactment or an event, we bring in several thousand more. Usually if it's a Civil War reenactment, a large one, we have had as many as 7,000 or 8,000 over a 2-day period. We have a visitors gift shop here, and we have an outstanding collection of books and videos, DVDs in our gift shop collection and other things. So if somebody's looking for a gift, particularly in reference to the Civil War, if they'll come out, we probably can help them provide a unique gift to that special one that they're trying to buy something for. We certainly do invite everybody to come out and visit with us at the Averasboro Battlefield Museum. We are open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. We're open on Sunday from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. And we do take a few days off for holidays, but typically we're open those days during the year.